then I'll check it out over here, then I'll copy public IP, right? I'll be pasting over here, then I'll give the code on which our application is run. So in this case what happened, it will take the application, then it's showing that all, this is a basic application on which our application is working, right, on this 808 port. So if you check it out, this is everything is working fine. Okay, so now in this case I want to add a same cloud book, right? So if you check it over here, the author is Asim, price I will keep. What happened, we are giving the price also. If you hit enter, right, so the data will be stored over here. Okay, this is how the simple. Hello, good morning, welcome back to the channel. My name is Muhammad Asim. Today we are going to continue the Docker series completely, and we will try to end it soon. And today's topic is we are going to install Docker Compose, and we are going to see the Docker Compose configuration file, and we will take one sample application and we will deploy it using Docker Compose, right? So basically we have covered on our channel the complete Docker hero to hero series, okay, where we have started from the scratch. If you're a beginner, if you don't have any knowledge about the Docker, still you should be able to complete this all Docker series. Okay, we have started from the scratch. So what we have completed till date, this is where you can find on our channel, right, this complete series where we have completed everything like architecture to comparison of container, VM, a Docker file, the keywords used in Docker file, the mandatory, like what are the custom Docker file you can create it, what are the Docker map, Docker network, Docker mapping, microservices between normal application, how it is Docker's microservices are is used in creating the applications, right? The Docker microservice concept is been used, right? And we already covered that how to install Docker and Docker Compose on one Linux operating system. So today we're going to check on how to write a Docker Compose file. Okay, so let's go and check it out, the complete information. So this is my local source code, right? So whenever you are creating one application, you require a source code. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we are taking a Dockerize, we are dockerizing our application. Our application is Spring Boot application, which is Java, right? So Java based application where we are going to package our application in the form of .war file, right? So it is executable file which we are going to execute it, right? So in that case, what we are using, instead of deploying manually, we are using a Docker image. We are creating a Docker image and we'll create a Docker container out of that. Okay, so our application will be connected to a database. So what we are doing in the sense is that we are creating one Docker image of our application, which is application over here. I have a source code, right? In the source code I have everything written over here, right? So it's an open source. We are taking open source application. It's not belongs to me. Okay, so here what we are doing, we have written a Docker file which is mentioning that it's a base image we required as OpenJDK. As this is a Java based application, we required OpenJDK 11 version, and we are exposing on 808 port, right? And in this case what we required one jar file, right? We required one jar file which will be executing this jar file, so the application will be up and running. So we have specified some of the keywords of the Docker file from expose, copy, and enter point. Okay, now the point is that why you require Docker Compose, right? Docker Compose basically is a tool which manage multiple containers. Okay, multiple containers. So in the microservices based application, we will have multiple services. Each service is hosted in different containers. To maintain that, it's very difficult to go and up and run all the container manually. We are using one configuration file. We are creating one configuration file as docker-compose.yml, where we'll return all the configuration and dependency of your application. Okay, so usually this is a requirement. With this you'll make your container, all your containers one at a time up. You can build it and you can up and down it, right? You can create the containers, all the container at a time, and you can delete the container also using docker compose up with a command to up the container, delete the container. Docker compose down is a command, right, which I have specified in a lot tutorial also, which will cover as a revision also in this tutorial, right? So how do you write a Docker Compose file? Okay, in the Docker Compose file, first we have to specify the version, right? So the latest version which is going on as Docker Compose is 3, so the name should be docker-compose.yml. okay, So it's using YAML file, YAML language, right? And the services, we are specifying the services. In the services we are specifying application, right? We have application over here. So what we are saying is that we require an image. So image, we will create an image of this same name. We'll create an image of application in our EC2 instance, right? That I will cover it. So I'm specifying that image, please take the image of locally, which is will be available over in our EC2 instance. Then we are move mapping to the host, to the container port number, right? 8000 I'm exposing on my EC2 instance, right? And what we are doing, and we are taking one more as MySQL database image, okay, image, and we are converting that. We will be fetching from direct from the Docker Hub, because this is available in the Docker Hub itself. So we will be taking that image. If you go and check as Docker Hub MySQL image, right? So you'll be finding one official image of it. Okay, from there we are going to take that, and we will run our database. We require database for the application as a container. Okay, so if you check it here, this is the official image which is available, MySQL, right? So this we are going to fetch, and we have specified the version also. So the version which we are using is 5.7. Here are the tags, and the version is available. With that you can take it anything, even you can take it latest also. For in our case we are going with that, so this is a use case, right? So you see, if you're going with the Docker Compose, it is over here. MySQL restart environment, everything you can specify, right? Okay, fine, this is fine. Then what we are doing, we are we are setting one network for our application container and our database, with that is MySQL DB network also, MySQL database container. Okay, so in order to communicate the application with the database, we require the database, right? You have to keep all the containers in one network. Okay, so what we are doing, we are specifying one network in the down, as in the down, as in the network tab, right? There we are specifying as springboot.db.net. This we are going to add over our database container and our application container the same name. So what happened, it first it will create the container, then it will what will do, it will create one image out of MySQL DB, right? MySQL DB, and then it will take application image, it will run the application on this, right? So then what happened, it will start our application. The reason that the first stage, what happened, to in order to start our application, we require a database, right? So that's the reason we are specifying that whenever the database is up and run, please try to start this application, right? So we are mentioning depends on SQL. If the SQL container is up, then only the application will try to start, the application container will try to build on, then the communication will be perfect. Okay, this specified what we are doing, we are giving root as a password for our MySQL, right? And we are going database name as SBMS, right? This is customer, based on your requirement you can spread it, but this information has to be given in the code level also, right? To in order to communicate with your database. So this we already set. So what we will do it quickly, and we will go and we'll check it out how you can make it in this use case. Okay, so let's go and we will access over here. Here if you check it over here, I have a EC2 instance on which Docker is installed. If you don't know how to install the Docker, then you can go and you can check my tutorial over here, Docker Compose installation, where we are specifying how to install Docker and Docker Compose, right? So let me go and check, is a Docker Compose is installed or no, right? If you hit enter, it's showing that the Docker Compose it is not installed. So what we will do, we will go it over here, and what we'll do, we'll go with the same which I specified. This is the same document over here. So simply I'll take the directory, the command from here, right, and I'll paste it over here. So what happened, it will fetch all the dependencies of the Docker Compose. Then what we will do it, we will start the Docker Compose, right? Let's just check now the version of this. So it's just the Docker version has been installed, right? So if I check Docker images, this is how you can install. I have some Docker images which I was using last time, right? So sudo ss. So what I will do it, I will delete all the containers and the images which I don't require. So the command which is required to delete all the existing containers which is unused, right? Unused, the command is docker system docker system prone -a, right? So it's showing me that you want to stop all the containers, okay, and you want to delete all them. Yes, I want to delete the cache also. So whatever the containers which are unused images and the stop container will be deleted. Okay, let us validate that. Do I have any images? No, I don't have any images. Docker ps -a do docker ps, so I don't have anything. Now everything is blank, right? So if I over here, I do have something content. Okay, fine. Okay, do I have anything over here? No, I don't have any directory over here. So in this case, what we will do it, first command, what we will do it, we will go and we will clone the code of Spring Boot application from our source repository, that is our GitHub, right? So this is a repository which is fetched from open source, so we have fetched this, we are using for the practice purpose. Okay, so we'll fetch this and I'll go and I'll use git command, right? Git clone to clone all the code available in the GitHub. So if you hit enter, you're able to see that one directory is created. The directory name is our Spring. So I'll using cd to go inside this content in the in the directory, and if I ll over here, I will be able to see there are the different files available, right? So in this case, if I go and check it over here also, which are specified, the multiple files available, right? So let's go and define whatever the files we do require, right? In this case, we required .jar, right? Because we don't have any directory over here which is related to that, right? So what we will do it in the first case is that let's decide whatever the code is available over here, right? So if I mll over here, you're able to see that there is a one docker file which we have specified all the dependency of this application, right? If I cat docker file, you're able to see that there is some keywords which we have mentioned to create our application image, right? So the image from we are using expose, as I mentioned that. So we are giving target springboard, okay, to copy the source code from our local machine, that is EC instance, to the container, right? The path of the container is MySQL .jar, right, over there. So do we have the target folder over here, directory over here? No, we don't have. So when we going to get that? When we use the command mbn clean package, right? Okay, that was pending over. Then we have one more is that source code, scr. Okay, if you go to the source code, you should be able to see all the source code of this application is available over here. If you ll over, you will be finding the code of this application, right? So this contains all the code. Okay, and what else, we have a one file, that is docker file, where the sequence of the steps is specified, right? Then we have docker compose, where we specified, if you ll over here, we have a docker compose file. Okay, the docker from compose file is basically the information of the docker, multiple docker containers information, right? Where we are giving the name and we are specifying the environment as is shown over here, cat docker file, right? Docker compose, here we are specifying all the images information, the expose, where we are network depend on volumes, right? Even we are specifying the image which we are going to, and the containers, right? So this file is over here, this. And what we have pom.xml file, right? Usually pom.xml file is a file in which all the requirement like dependencies of this application and the libraries will be specified over there. Okay, if I check over here pom.xml, you're able to see that there is a dependency of this application where is specified everything. Okay, the properties, dependencies, everything. Okay, fine. So we have already explained whatever the code in this directory is available, right? So in this case, what happened, in the future maybe we may add the Jenkins files or any Kubernetes configuration files, right? So if you're going with the of this application, going with the Jenkins way. Okay, so now first thing what we have to do it, we have to create a Docker image out of this Docker file, right, of this application. So in order to do that, if you do that also, then it will prompt me that there is a error. Okay, the let me just check it out. Before that, what happened, I need to create one, you need to create a dot jar, right? Build compile code, right? We need to compile the code of this our application. So for that, what we are using, mvn clean package. It's showing that the maven is not installed. Okay, so the reason for that is that we have not installed any maven, right? So in this case, there is no target folder also available over here. In the target file, there is no jar file also available because there is no maven is installed. Okay, so in order to do that, what we have to do it, we have to use the same command which is suggested by Linux operating system. I'll copy over here, then I will paste it, hit enter. So what happened, it will fetch the maven. Okay, and it will install the maven on our Linux operating system built on the Java. So what it will done, it will fetch the Java first, it will install the Java, right? So if you check it over, OpenJDK 21 is getting installed. Okay, so if you check it over there, so first what it will do, it will fetch and it will install the Java, then it will install the maven, right? Maven, right? -v. So I have maven, let me check, hyphen version, no issue. Let me see, Java -v, Java hyphen version. Yes, the Java version is getting installed, OpenJDK 21, right? So what happened, we have not installed before, right? So what happened, it will fetch when we are using the last command maven maven apt get maven, right? The command which we have used over there. Let me just check, apt install maven, right? So what is that, it will take the Java, it will install the Java, then it will install the maven, because the maven is built on the Java, right? Okay, fine. So we have installed all the Java. So now in this case, what we can do it, we can compile our application using mvn clean package, right? So if you hit enter, it will start packaging our application in the format .jar, right? Because this is Spring Boot, in this case it will create .jar. Okay, see, it's prompting all the information related to that. Okay, what we have specified in the .pom.xml, from there it's taken, it's saying that okay, artifact has been created, total this much second has taken, it finished on this time. Okay, it has created .jar file. If I ll that, I should be able to see one target folder. Okay, now the target folder is created. If I go inside the target folder, I should be able to see one, right, which is there, Spring Boot MySQL jar. Okay, this is where which is created the jar file. This is a executable .jar file. Based on that, on running this one, we can create a image out of this. Okay, so now the first thing is that what we will do it, we will come out of this directory, we will be in the root directory of this here, and we will try to create a one Docker image. Now in this case is that what happened, we have specified the name of just a second, we have already specified the application Docker image, right? Docker image name. So what we have to do, we have to create the same name Docker image. Okay, so the thing is that when I'm creating a Docker image of my application, in this case what happened, docker build -t. So here I have to give the same name. If I'm giving any custom name, then I have to overwrite over here. Okay, so over here, then afterwards, just what I will do it, I will get build t -t, and I will give it the directory, because this is the current directory, right? In the current directory we have a Docker file. Okay, if I hit enter, so what happened, it will install, it will create a Docker file out of it, of our application. First step what we have specified, OpenJDK available, right? So it's taking the base OS image from the Docker hub. Okay, then afterwards it's taking all the libraries which we have specified, then it's extracting, then it's executing the commands, right? and we are exposing on 808, then what happened, it's copying the target spring boot.sql .jar, which we have specified over here. This was the path, right? This one is getting copied in our docker file. Okay, and the entry point, the command cmd finds also is a jar, and giving the path to executable, right? So now if I check it over here, then I am able to see there is a two images has been done. This is our application image. This is the OpenJDK. This is the base image which we used for our Java based application. Okay, so now our task is to create a Docker image of our application that is got successfully. Now let's go for Docker Compose, right? So now if I cat over here Docker Compose file, so I already available this image, right? If I check it over here, I have the image with the same name. So in this case, I don't want to change anything over here. Okay, so the basically whenever you run your docker compose command, docker compose up -d, what happen, it will use the it will use whatever specified docker information in the docker compose yml, right? In this specify what we are doing, spring.boot.mysql app. So it will check locally the image is available, then it will export the port 8080, then it will make the network of that after doing the below steps. Okay, so in this case we already have this image in the locally. So if the image is not in locally, then it will be checking in your docker hub. Okay, you can check in the docker hub. In the docker hub you will not find any image which is available with this name. So if I go and check any image over here with this name, do you have any image with the same name? No, it's not over. It's with the the username. Okay, so it's not available, right? So if you check it over here, so it's saying that. So let's execute and try check it out, that is our application is getting executed or no, right? The first step, what will happen, first it will create the container. Okay, and we are using daemon. Let me go with the interactive mode. If I hit enter docker compose up, so it will take all the configuration from there, right? So it's taking that first is pulling MySQL DB, because we have specified that our application depend on MySQL database, right? So what happened is taking fetching, right, the image from MySQL, then it's setting the environment. Okay, then it's creating the network, our Spring network, right? The network is specified what we have specified over there, right? db.net. Then what happened is creating the application MySQL one created, our MySQL container application is RAW. So in this case what happened is that executed 3 steps. Okay, the first what it has done, it has set up the MySQL database in the Docker, right, as a Docker container. Then afterwards what happened, it has created first it has created a network for these 2 containers. Okay, afterwards it's created a MySQL DB in the container. Then afterwards it have started our application image, used the application image and created the container out of it. These 3 steps have been followed. Okay, if you go here, it's a Spring Boot application. If you go down, there is a lot of all the server temporary, server stopped, ready to start up, it stopped, application second, Jimmer and Ashok dot application. Okay, no issue, this is fine. Okay, so if I check it over, let me duplicate, so I don't want to end, use control, just sudo su, right? If I check docker ps, do I have over here an application? Yes, I have 2 applications which is working up and running, right? So if you see here, this is the port of 80803306, right? Usually this is a port of MySQL, okay, MySQL database. This which we have specified are the host 808, and 808 is our container IP address. So if I want to access my application, where I should be accessing with 8080 of the port number, right? So in this case I will go and I will check my security group over here, do have 8080 is available or no, right? If the port is not open, is a closed format, then I will open over here. So yes, the port is off. So let me go and open this 8080 port, then I will make it everywhere, then I will save it over here. So we already added the 8080 port. Then I'll go back to the instance, then I'll check it out over here. then I'll copy public IP, right? I'll be pasting over here, then I'll give the code which on which our application is run. So in this case what happened, it will take the application, then it's showing that all, this is a basic application on which the our application is working, right, on this 808 port. So if you check it out, this is everything is working fine. Okay, so now in this case I want to add a same cloud book, right? So if you check it over here, the author is Asim, price I will keep. What happened, we are giving the price also. If you hit enter, right, so the data will be stored over here. Okay, this is how the simple application on which you give the information of the book and the author name, and you give the book price. The data will be stored in the tabular form of our database. The database is MySQL, and the data is the MySQL is hosted in the container. Okay, is hosted in container. Okay, then in this case we'll go back to our here. All the logs has been generated over here. Okay, as we are hitting over there, all the information been stored in the database. Okay, now we are going with interactive mode. Let me go with the detached mode, right? So I'll use Control C. So what happened, it will stop all my containers which was running up. Okay, so it will take few seconds and it will stop the container. It's stopping 1 by 2 and it will stop 2 by 2 also. Okay, if I check a docker ps, so I don't have any container which is up and run, right? So let me use one more command just for the docker compose down, right? So what happened, it will just remove all your application, right, the containers. So in this case what way I will do it, I will just use docker compose. I'll go with a detached mode, right? Docker compose up and I'll give detached mode. Just hit enter, it will start creating the containers. Okay, so if I want to check docker compose ps, okay, it will show me that whatever the container is up and running. If I hit enter over here, let me just set it over here, so you should be able to see that there is a name of the container which is one. The image is used is Spring Boot MySQL, which is we have created in locally, right? After the commands what we have specified over there, here is a MySQL, right? MySQL is fetching from MySQL.5.7 from the Docker Hub which is available, right? So now I will go and I'll access one more time, refresh, so that you will see that everything is down, right? No, I supposed to receive HTTP. I have to keep HTTP port because there is no everything. Okay, here what I will do it, I will give code book Asim and I hit enter. The data is stored over here. Okay, let me add one more also, cloud book and let's say 100 rupees, right? And I will give 100, the name also test, right? So hit enter, one more data is stored in the database, right? So now what happened, we if I want to check the data which is stored over in the database or no, right? So in this case what we can do it, we can go inside the container and we check it out. Which container? The container is MySQL container. Okay, if I want to go into the container, the command is docker-exe-it, right? And the name of the container is docker compose y over here, right? And I have to give one more argument, the bin bash. Okay, so I will be inside the container. Okay, if I ll over here, if I ls over here, you should be able to see there is a docker container, right? Just a second, docker container. Okay, if we are inside the docker container, oh, right, 4.2. Okay, now how do we validate that? So the basically ms how does MySQL, if you want to connect with MySQL, then I have to give it localhost, because this is a localhost, right? I'm inside the container, so it will be my localhost. Then I'll give IU username I have specified as root. If we check docker compose here, what we have specified is a root, right? Root, and the password sbms. So I'll go over here root, then I'll give prompt as p, then root, right? If you hit enter, yes, I'm inside the Docker container now, right? Sorry, I have switched to the MySQL, right? In this case, what I will do it, just I will see what are the database available. So I'll go show database. This is the command, and I will give it here. Then it will show me syntax show databases, sorry, okay, show databases. If you hit enter, there is a 3 databases, right? Now if you go over here, you're seeing that which database we have created. We have created SBMS, right? The password we have given root. So in this case, I want to connect this to this SMBS database. So in this case, what we will do it, I will use SBMS, and I will give it over here. So I am in the database has been changed. Okay, now I want to give the argument that I want to see if the database, right? I want to see the data tables. So data tables is a book, right? Data table is a book. Okay, so one row is been table in this database tables in SBS, right? We have a book over here. One row is set. Okay, what we will do, we know when one table is there, right? So what we will do it, we will pass a query, select star, right? Star from, and I'll give the name of the table. The table is book, right? So just hit enter. There is a 2 entries has been done, which we have created from over here, right? So we have given author name, price, and name. Okay, if you check it over here, there is a book ID, author name, book name, and the book price. If I go over here again, if I add like Akram, author name Akram, and I will set 120 rupees, right? If I submit over here, I should be able to see 3 over here. So that data has to be updated over here. So if you check it here, is finding Akram, which we have specified over here. This is how your application start interacting with your application, with your database, right? So this is how you are going to create. So in this state, what we have done, simply we have cloned the cloned our source code management from the GitHub. Then we have installed the Maven, right? Without install Maven, because the Maven is used in Java, built on the Java. So by default, the Java will be installed. After that, the Maven will be installed. Then we are going to the project directory. Then we are using MV1 clean packages to make to package your application in the form of .jar. Okay. Then we are creating a Docker image out of our application. Okay, afterwards we are creating a Docker image, right? Docker image. Then we are creating a Docker compose configuration file, which we have specified over here. Okay, specified over here all the things like 3 tags. We have specified application service. In the service we have specified application. Then we have specified database. Then after that we are specifying the networks. Okay. After that, what we have done, we have exposed the ports also 8080. Then we have gone to the EC2 instance. Then we have opened our 8080 port on EC2 instance. Okay. Then afterwards, what we have done, we have made our application using the command docker compose up, right, to make our application up and running. Okay. Then afterwards, what we have done, we have gone and we have access through the internet, right, through the browser. From there we have given some of the entries over here. Then we are able to find on our database all the entries has been done. Okay, so this is a command which we have been using, okay, to make it work. Now if I want to exit from the MySQL, then hit enter. Then you are into the container. Okay, if you ls over here, you are seeing all the inside the containers, you are seeing all the directories. Okay, if you want to exit from the directory, then hit enter over here. Okay, this is how you can create simple your Docker. You can create using Docker Compose. You can manage multiple Docker containers, right? You can create your application, the different you can make your different modules in the different container, and you can manage all your container using the Docker Compose. Okay, this is this advantage which Docker Compose give you to make your application manage your application modules in different containers, and you can map with a one single network that the container can communicate with each other. Okay, they can speak with them, or like a human way, they will speak with each other and they will connect with that. Okay, till now what we have covered all this Docker series. Okay, so now in this case what we will do it is this. If I say Docker images, what we will do it simply, we will go and we will try to just tag our images, right? What we have specified over, let me go. What we will do it, simply we will connect to our Docker hub, right? A Docker hub account, then we will push our image to that Docker hub account, right? Simply what we will do it, we will go and we will use a Docker login. Okay, so what we will do it quickly, we'll go and we will log into our uh, Docker login, right? So it will prompt to the username and the password of this, right? So in this case, what we required the username, right? Let me go and check my account. Let me go inside this password. I have to give the password because it will authenticate your key and successfully it will done. Okay, so first thing what we have done is we have used Docker login. Okay, so it's prompted me the username and then it prompted me the password. In the password I have given all the credentials, right, which we have used it. Okay, so you can specify the credentials over there, user and password, because this is secure. So I paused that video, might have not covered for you. Simply you give a username which you can get from your account over here, and you can give the custom password which you have. Okay, now what we will do it, I will check the Docker images because I have created Docker image of my application, right, which I have to prove it. In order to push that, so what I have required, I required to customize my image name. Okay, so the image name customization is simple. You need to tag over here, right? Just go and give the tag over here, then I will give the image name. The image name was okay, image name is Spring Boot APL, right? So I'll give it over here. Then afterwards I have to give the username, the account name which is over there, right? Then I will add the same name because this is a mini prerequisite for the Docker app. If you want to upload any image to your account, then it should be account username has to be given with splash with the image name. Okay, just hit enter. If I check Docker images, new image should be appear with the tag name over here, right? So now what we that already we have added the tag. So now what we will do it is simply we will push the image. Okay, so I'll use the command docker push. The image name I have already over here, so just I will use enter and hit enter. So what happened, okay, the spelling mistake. If you push docker push over here, so it's starting and pushing to your account. Okay, so it's showing that docker.io, then the username, then the image name of that. Okay, so what happened, it will push all my Docker images, all, and the Docker image which we have created just now will be pushed to my account. Okay, so if I check over here Docker ps, I have a running containers, right, which is 2 up and run. So now in this case what happened, if I go and refresh here, I don't have any 1 2 3 4 5, right? If I refresh, I should be able to see now the 6th image available over here. Okay, see, I received one Docker image, right? If you check over Docker image which is public, so I can add the tag. The tag which I've given is the latest few minutes ago, right? I can add public view. I can keep this tag settings, right? Make private already public. Okay, I can delete the repository also. I can do anything. Okay, this is how you can upload your image, and you can keep this also, right? you can keep that L tag. Okay, these are the tags. Okay, so this is how we are going to complete the Docker series now. Hopefully we have covered all the aspects. This was the last tutorial from our end which we have covered up to now. Okay, so if I go back over there, what we have up to now, what we have covered is that, you know, we have covered completely what is a Docker. First we have covered the container versus VM, then we have discussed about the Docker architecture, then we have discussed how to write a Docker file, how to install Docker on your VM machine, EC2 instance. Then we have specified the keywords of the Docker file. Then I have showed you that how to create the Docker file, to write the Docker file in the multiple language programming language, Node.js, Next.js, Python, and core Java. Okay, which we have specified on this one. And we have used a Docker volume. Then we have specified about the Docker network, how do you can create Docker network. Then I have specified that how you can integrate your Docker Hub account with your EC2 machine, and you can push your Docker images to your account. Okay, how you can make public and private of your images also. Okay, then we have covered Docker Compose, because in microserver architecture of your application, then you require to manage multiple containers, right? In that containers, you are going to it's very difficult to make it up and running always. So we are writing one docker-compose.yml configuration file where we are specifying all the related information of our Docker container. If your container is available in the local host, that is EC2 machine, then we are taking the same customized image. Or else if you are fetching from the Docker Hub, then we are specifying the image name of from that. Okay, the dependency, if you have a dependency of database or any other networks, right? So this is how you can integrate and you can learn. Hopefully we have covered all the aspects for this. So for this case now, we will end this series. Don't forget to share, subscribe with your friends, and this document also will be uploaded. Docker Compose file will be uploaded on the GitHub. From there you can access all the things, okay, which we have already covered over here. Don't forget to share, subscribe. Thank you very much.